All well and you're all warm and toasty and not in this horrible rain. Hello, I've got a little cat sat next to me here. So as usual, let's just double check that we are all working. Let's double check on our Facebook page, which is usually where I can test that everything is working. Oh yeah, and I can hear myself, so that means the sound is also working, but I will just bring my microphone a little bit closer and just move some lighting overhead a little bit more. There we go. You look very, very sleepy there, Maisie. I've got my blanket on my knee. Shall I bring you a little bit closer so you can watch what we're doing? There we go. So I brought her a little bit closer to us so that she can see all of the action. Oh dear. Right. How are we? It's Friday. I can't believe it's actually Friday. This is obviously a change to our usual what's the word I'm looking for? Our usual live stream. Our usual live stream date and time, because for the longest time now, I have done my lives on a Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. And I decided that this, for the new year, I was going to change things up a little bit. Just because I want to find a little bit of better work-life balance this year, if possible. But also, just to see if we can maybe pick up people at different times that are available at different times where the Thursday evening perhaps doesn't work. So we're going to give it a try. We may still do Thursday evenings. We may mix things up. But I know it's nice to have a regular time slot that everybody knows is when we're going to be here. So for the time being, set aside some Friday afternoon time for crafting, because that's what we're going to trial for the moment. So what are we going to do today? I don't know. And I know I say this all the time, but I actually don't really know what I'm going to do today. But I do know that I want to use the sealed with a loving kiss, sealed with a kiss stamp set, because I've not used this one since it was released, and I think this is a really great one for when we're coming up to Valentine's Day as well. So while it was part of our winter release, it's one that's going to take you right through into this year and into Valentine's Day potentially. So I just got these little cards out that I've made previously, just for something for you to look at. But this was one that I made with that set using our Box Clever die, which I love this die because it makes this gorgeous scene. And then I've got obviously our little seals in the middle there, just being very adorable, to be honest. So I really love that. I love that card. And then I just got a couple of other ones out for you to look at, just so that you weren't just looking at a blank space as we got set up. So I've got my like I said, I've got my die set here. I'm just going to just double check that everything looks to be working. Do say hello if you are watching. I can see we've got a few people watching across different channels. We're live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. So if you want to just say hello, let me know you're there, then that's great. Then I know that everything's working. So what should we do with these guys? I'm thinking of, like I say, something a bit Valentine's-y. And I was thinking of using, let me have a look at my dies here. What do you think, little Maisie? My little girl Maisie. So I was thinking of using the heart nesting dies, because I've not used these for an awful long time, So I did think that that would be a good thing to use, because we've not used them for a while. Let's have a look what else have we got in here though. We've got some really cool, I've got those banner dies as well, they're really cool. Oh, this is a cool set though as well, with the hearts, and then we've got the little hearts with the text in there. That could be quite a cute one to do. Hello Lisa, how are you? Thank you for letting me know that you are there, and that really does help me stay, so I know that I'm around, that you can see me, and everything's okay. So, oh, that's also a very good one, because I have also got a little bit of an idea of potentially doing a little bit of a slider thing for our little seals, which could be rather cute, couldn't it? I've also got this large sentiment, love you lots, which I've not used for a while. We've also got portholes, which would be cute with the seals. Oh, the portholes would be cute, wouldn't they? We've got so many cute dies. It's sometimes I really struggle to choose which ones. We've got some little waves there as well. I am very much torn here now, because I quite like the idea of using the portholes. I've not used those for a while. You know, when you've not used something for a while, sometimes it's quite good to give it a go, isn't it? I think I might do that. So we've got a few selections. I love looking through my dies. It's a good way of just giving yourself a little bit of inspiration. So we do have these. I'm going to grab a Slimline DL card base, because this is potentially what we're going to do. So I've got my waves here as well. See, I'm going to have loads of choices here now, because I was very keen on doing that as well. Oh, so many choices, so many choices. She says, yes. So I've got all of the things out, all of the things. And now I'm a bit torn as to which I want to use, because I think, let's have a look and see what this would look like. Because like I said, I wanted to make it a bit Valentine's-y themed, but it doesn't all have to be in pinks. Hello Alice, afternoon, Joe and Tea Timers. Alice from Mini Map Makers. I've been catching up on videos. Oh, have you been having a bit of a fun video fest of all of the craftiness? That's very, very cute. Okay, we've got some cute little images here. Let's have a look. If we had this guy on this side and this guy on this side, so these fit really, really quite nicely in these little portholes. And I think in the center we could possibly have the sentiment, the sealed with a kiss. We'd have to chop it up potentially, but we could do that, or we could add some XOXOs, which would be quite cute. Okay, and we've also got this little the little fishing rod that's got the heart on the end, which is very cute. So we could potentially have this guy here holding the fishing rod. That would be quite cute, wouldn't it? Okay, so we've got some options. I think I'm gonna go with this, because it's giving me it's inspiring me to do some things. So, but we've got to think about what we're going to do for our background. So, what happens with this this die here? Obviously, it fills the inside of your Slimline or DL card. Hello, Lauren. Hello to Annalisa. Happy Friday to you all. It fits inside our Slimline Trio Circle die set. So we've made a few inserts for this over the years because this is such a useful set. So what you do is the insert for this fits on the inside of your trio set. You see there? So that works really nicely. So we can use these dies here. Let me take the smallest of these. Let's have a look at what the second largest one is. Yeah, I think I might use the second largest size to go on there, and then we'll just trim this down. So, and then we can pop that in the center, you see, and that gives us our portholes. So, pop that to one side, and we need some card stock. Let's have a look. Have we got any that's pre-cut? I'm thinking not. So I'm going to get some of my card stock from here. So you could use pre-coloured cardstock, which, do you know what I am going to do? I'm going to keep that to one side, but I am going to use some of our aqua coloured cardstock because I think that's going to look really nice for our background here. So I'm going to add my my die onto here. So let's line this up. This is where the cat will probably wake up in a second because I'm going to start my very noisy die cutting machine. Annalisa says she loves the fishing rod. Let's line this up on the inside. There. I'm just eyeballing the centre. If you're not sure, excuse me, whether you've lined that up, you can use the other die to help you line it up before you stick it down. But I'm just going to eyeball it. There we go. And what this is going to do, it's going to cut out those pieces out of this cardstock, I believe. So that we can layer them up as well. Okay. So I'm preparing this first because I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do yet. So we're just doing a bit of prep work. And then once I've got a little idea of what I'm doing, that's when we'll be able to really start playing. So you see now we've got our 3 apertures, and then what it's done, it's cut out. Oh, I need my poker tool. I can't pick it up with my fingers. It's cut out each of these little portholes, which will then sit in there. Now what you can do is you can cut out the portholes in a different cardstock so that you've got a contrasting colour. What I might do with these is I might ink blend on these. I think is going to be my choice. I could have done previously cut them out of metallic cardstock, which looks really nice, making them kind of silvery, but I don't really want any metallic on this card today. I've decided just randomly, I don't know why. And then we've got some little circles there as well that will go into the background, which again you can, you know, you can use for a different project. Just poke all of those bits out of the center. Now, if you want to, you know, you want to back your porthole with some with a different color again, so that those holes are a different color. That's what these two excuse me, two dies are for. So this is the same color as the circle, same size as the circle. So if you wanted to just cut out a couple of those circles and just do a couple of portholes rather than all three, you can. And then this allows you to cut out just that porthole without the holes, so that you can then back that with a different colour if you want to as well. So that's a thought. I might do that because I don't know what colour is going to be in the background, but we'll see. We'll see once we've done our background. But I'm thinking I'm probably going to put some sea in the background there. And now I'm thinking I don't know whether I wanted the aqua, because let me think. This is what happens when you don't have a plan. But it's good for you to see just kind of my thought process and how I'm working on this as I go. Because this is what we do, you know. Sometimes you might start with some inspiration from maybe from somebody's, you know, a card that you've seen, card design that you've seen. Sometimes you might be working from a colour scheme or a sketch. A sketch is a really good one to do. Maybe I should have looked for a sketch. But sometimes you're just inspired by a card and you don't know quite where to go with it. So you're doing it on the fly, really. So we've got our three portholes here. We don't necessarily need to use this bit if we don't want to. That's the other cool thing, is that we don't have to use that if we don't want to. We could just use the little portholes independently. So that is a thought. I might be tempted to do that, you know, and just use those on their own, because they do look very cute, don't they? And then we would have, let's have a look, have our little seals. Let's have a look. Let's get my little seals out. So we'd have a little seal in there. Which one did we say? This one. That's rather cute, isn't it? So I quite like how clean and simple this is looking. But obviously I need a background to these little guys. Excuse me. So this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan. I like this look. I'm really, really liking how crisp and bright it is. So I'm going to pop those out of the way so we don't lose those little guys. And then I'm going to go back to my trio of nesting dies. I'm going to take this same size die that we've just used, and we put the holes in, which I didn't really need to do, but I can save that now for another project. So that's that. We can save that for another project because that's perfectly good to use. So we've got this. I'm going to stick this to my white cardstock here. Like I say, I like how crisp and clean it's looking. And then I'm going to use these circle dies that we talked about to give me some dimension to my portholes. So I'm going to use both of those, and let's cut a couple of these out. And I'm cutting down my my cardstock rather than doing it on a full A4 sheet, because I find that if I don't position my cardstock in the right place on my die cutting machine, it doesn't cut. Excuse me. So I'd rather cut down my pieces of cardstock so that I am able to position them at an angle across the piece there. So there is more chance of them having a successful cut. So, and that you often find that with die cutting machines, that they have got better pressure in certain parts of the machine. Times these little circles, but I'll just show you. I might be able to use the smaller die cutting machine for the individual ones now. So we've now got our background cut, and it's got the nice stitching around the outside. So I am going to leave that, I think, potentially to be white. So a bit of a white on white background there, which I think is going to look really nice. And we've got the stitching detail, which just gives it a little bit of something. Or we could give it a little bit of a different coloured background, like so. That looks quite cute as well, doesn't it? I might go with a different colour. What about a different colour? What about a blue? Let's grab some blue cardstock. This is our bluebird cardstock. So if we pop that in the background and use that as the backdrop, that looks kind of nice, doesn't it? And then we're going to fill in these little areas here with some blue as well. So I think that's going to look really quite nice and bright. So using all of the cardstock, using all of the papers, I love that. So yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. You could also use maybe some paper as well. So the Pawsome, actually this is, see, I've just cut out that circle, but maybe if we'd cut out a circle of this and used that, I think maybe that's a bit darker than I wanted it. So I'm going to use the stencil to create my own waves in the background. So we'll come to that shortly. So let's just cut another one of these out. So we've got this to sit behind there. And we've also got this here, which will sit in between. Okay. So we've now got some white dots behind here, and then this we're going to colour in, we're going to ink blend onto. So that's going to layer up to make our little porthole to sit on our background there. I hope that makes sense so far. So I just need to cut out 2 more of these, and again I've got some little circles there. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. But I'm sure the creative ones amongst you will be able to come up with something. So let's cut these out. I'm going to use my mini die cutting machine for these. And I'm just going to tidy up a little because I've got all of the things out now and we're not using all of the things, but I've given myself about a million ideas of things that I want to do for other card projects. So, and this is the good thing sometimes when you go into something without any idea of what you're doing, that then can give you other ideas as you go, which is great. So the danger is that once you've finished crafting, you've forgotten them all. So you might need to write them down, because I'm terrible for forgetting ideas. Very much an in the moment crafter sometimes. So let's get those run through. I really wanted today to create something that was bright and that was fun and sweet, because it's horrible outside. The weather is absolutely awful here in Sheffield. I don't know what it's like for you guys wherever you're living. I know that in some parts of the world it's just been horrendous, and nothing, we can't really complain at the weather that we've had, because it's nothing compared to what's been going on in different parts of the world. But yeah, it's miserable. That's the thing, is it's miserable and grey, and I think we're in that time of year now where everything just seems miserable and grey every day, until we probably start getting into March time. I know we've been predicted that we might even be getting some snow, which is not my favourite at all. I actually hate snow. Annalisa says she loves listening to my creative process. I don't know, if it is of interest to you guys. And sometimes it is just a bit of a let's just see what happens kind of a thing. I do have, when I go to shows and things, I have like a go-to formula for making a quick and simple card, but that's not what everybody wants to see all the time. When you're demonstrating at a live event like that, sometimes it is about just quickly demonstrating a product rather than showing any specific techniques. And I know we do some techniques in our lives, but because again we're on a time scale, if you like, we don't go into things in a great deal of detail. So what I'm intending to do for this year, which I think is something that I probably intend to do every year but doesn't always come off for whatever reason, is to do some more classes this year, both in person and online, and probably more so online, because that obviously it opens up opportunities to everyone, because not everyone can get to Sheffield. We have tea timers that live all over the world, so I don't want to exclude anyone if I can help it. So doing them online really helps with that. And since lockdown, the accessibility and people's being able to use things like the Facebook groups and things for that, is people are much more open to it and much more used to it now. So that is an option for us that I think we're going to work on this year. So I've got a couple of projects in mind, hoping that we can launch the first one of those in February. Fingers crossed. I mean, I can't believe how quickly we're getting through January already. So it's, we're it's just ridiculous how how time is flying. So and speaking of time flying, this month we are on Hobby Maker again this month, on Sunday in fact. So I have only really got tomorrow and maybe a bit of tonight to prepare for Sunday's show, because I've also been designing, which I know some of you will already be aware. I think I mentioned last week that I am designing for our next release. It's a tough time to be getting anything done, because some of our products are made in China, and they are celebrating the holidays at the moment. So in terms of getting products here, it's a little bit dicey, but that should be a March release date that we're looking at. And that means then that, you know, I've really had to, you know, get a wriggle on. Really. Oh, some yays to online classes. Woohoo! Oh, good. And let me know, what kind of thing were you hoping to see in the online classes? Because I've got some ideas of my own, but obviously I want to make sure that I'm doing what you guys want as well. So for my background, I'm going to get out my little stencil mat and I'm going to pull out my circles here, because these are what we're going to be working on, to give a little bit of background to our little seals here. So there's a couple of things that we can do. We can either, let me have a think. I'm just going to grab another stamp set here. I seem to think, yeah, we did have some little waves and hugs and things in that set, which is really cute. Just looking for some cute little sentiments as well, because we've got so many cute sets that sometimes it's like absolutely so hard to pick which one. But I think that might be, I've got some good sentiments there. Yeah, that will work. And then I'm going to have a look at some of my stencils here. So, stencils. We have, let's have a look. So we've got the Making Waves stencil here, which is an awesome little stencil, which I'm thinking I might use. But I did also have a little idea, full of these little ideas. Where's it gone? Sorry, I'm flicking through this and I'm not even showing you what I'm doing. So this is my little book of stencils. That's what I was looking for, was the Scattered Hearts stencil, because I thought that might look quite cute, you know, in the background. Rather than waves, we could do some hearts, or, because obviously this is a heart themed card, or what we could do is we could do some hearts onto the back of here, which I think would look really quite cute. Just having a little drink there and doing that in a really like pale colour. Just thinking what colours are going to go with what we're working with here, and I'm thinking selfish patina and peacock feathers are going to look really, really cute. So, and the reason that I pulled out the Get Well Soon set is because it has these really cute sentiments that you can colour in, and it's also got this little wave here, which I thought might look quite cute, heat embossed onto a background. Or we've got these little the wave design on this, different styles of waves on this Making Waves, and we've also got the bubbles as well. So many different ideas. So I'm gonna just have a play with just using some of these hearts here, and I'm not going to do all of it, so I'm just going to grab one of my brushes here, and I'm going to do this really delicately because I only want a little hint. And you know me, I am well known for being quite heavy-handed when I ink blend, so this is going to be a test for me to just not put that pressure on, just let that ink just glide through. And I am not worried about going right the way to the edge. One of the things when you're actually stenciling, you can look at it and think, there's no ink gone down there, I've not made any impression. But then when you pull and that's why sometimes you're tempted to put more pressure on and add more colour, but then when you pull your hand away, the colour is there. So let's reveal, and there we've got that really, really nice pale look, and I hope that you can see that as well as I can. But I'm just going to now just move my stencil over a little bit, and again, no pressure on here, just going to add some more of these to this outer edge, this right side. Some of them are overlapping, I'm okay with that. And I'm just going to add a couple more on this side because I don't think we quite went over far enough. And again, just really light. And I'm just going to hold that up so that you can see that. Really, really subtle, but really pretty with those hearts. So I think that's going to give us that the love theme. So, and that's just a bit of colour in the background. That's going to look really, really cute. So that's that one. And then, like I say, I've got this Making Waves one here. This is a new one that I haven't opened yet because I went to a show once and we didn't have any of these left, and a lady said, well, I'll just buy yours then. And she just took mine off me, so I didn't have one, so which was really cool. She wanted it that much. She said, well, I'm just going to buy yours. I was like, oh right, okay then. Fine. If you want it that badly, then you shall have it. Okay, one second, just need to, sorry little kitten, I'm just going to lean over you because I need to blow my nose. I have still got a little sniffle, but I am much better than I was before. I was really very unwell. The last live that we did, I was really feeling it, but I am feeling much better now. So this is going to be really cute. So I think what I'm going to do first up, carry on with this Salvage Patina, and again, I don't think I'm going to go wild with the ink blending. I'm going to keep it quite pale. This is part of my, again, my New Year's resolution to try to do things a little bit more subtle and not so heavy-handed, but I don't know if it'll, I doubt it will last. So what's everybody up to? Are you crafting along? I know that was it Alice said that she was catching up on some videos, crafty videos. I must admit, when I'm preparing to come on live and getting, you know, bits ready, I do like to watch a crafty video or two myself. So we've got a little bit of colour going on there, nothing crazy just yet. So I'm going to grab this. I'm just going to keep checking that we're looking good. See, I love how subtle this is looking. Subtlety, not my strong suit, but when it comes to colour, but I do like that. And there's just a little hint of those hearts coming through the background there. Might add a few more of those hearts around here. Because these are covering them up a little bit more than I wanted to, but that's looking really quite pretty so far. I'm a little bit hesitant to add much more to it because, again, I don't want to lose that subtlety. There you go. That was it. So again, I'm not lining this up where it was before. trying to work out which side had the colour on. I think it will have been this one. So I'm not going to try and line it up because I've got absolutely no chance, but I want to find some decent sized hearts to pull out. Oh, come here, come hither. And so that I can, you know, we can get some little hearts showing around the porthole there. Yeah, that's lovely. That is lovely. And then, you know, you can just pick out a couple of hearts here. If you use a smaller blender brush, you can just pick out one or two without much issue. But I'm obviously just going with what's quick, using the tool I've got. There we go. Oh, I love that. That's really cute. Okay, let's leave it. So I could either go with bubbles on the back of here, or we can do some waves on the back of here, or we could even repeat the heart process in the background as if these are like bubbles, which could be quite interesting, I think. To continue that heart theme, shall we do that? Let's have a look. So I've moved to the peacock feathers now for my colour. So let me just move that onto screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Here, move that up a little. There we go. So Lauren says, just home from work early to be present for the live. So making myself useful by trying to get a head start on ironing for the weekend so we can spend the real weekend making preparations for our new adopted dog who is arriving next week. Oh my God, that's so cute. You're getting a new dog. So tell me about the dog. Is it a puppy? Is he a grown-up dog? Is he a rescue? Where has he come from? And is it, I'm saying he, is it a she? Oh, I need to know all the things. Do we have a name? How exciting, a new member of the family. So, sorry, Maisie, did I say the word dog? Does that upset you? She just got up and turned her back to me at the mention of the word dog. Not that she's ever met a dog and wouldn't know what a dog was, would you? We have, that's really cute. We have neighbour. I think I've mentioned our neighbour before because one of her cats went missing recently and was extraordinarily and wonderfully discovered 3 weeks after he'd gone missing. I think it must have been at least 3 weeks. He was alive, perfectly fine, very thin, you know, hadn't eaten in all that time, but was perfectly fine. He and his brother live next door to us, and they troll about in our back garden all the time, and they used to come and call for Rosie when we had Rosie, and they were, you know, they were best pals. They would hang out together all the time, and long after Rosie passed away, one of the cats, Millhouse he's called, would come to call for her, and, you know, obviously she wasn't there, and he would come and look through the window, and he would put his paws up at the window hoping that she would be there, and it broke my heart every time I saw him because they were inseparable, really. Anyway, he's started coming to the door again, and these two have been looking at him out of the window, you know, and I just think, what must they think, you know, because they can't get to him, they can't get outside, and he's out there roaming around, and I just think, would they be friends like Rosie was? But it's very cute. So Laura Ann is saying he's a Romanian resume, 1-year-old called Rex. Oh, bless you. Is that a rescue? Is that what you mean? A Romanian rescue? I don't know if that's a breed. I don't know anything about dogs because I'm a cat cat lady, but I do love all animals, and I love dogs too. It just would be no good for me having a dog because I'm always, I mean, I am always at home. Well, not always at home, but you know, I'm at home a lot. But we're so busy that we don't really have time to look after a doggy. So let's have a look. Is this too many hearts? Let's have a look. So what do we think? I think that's looking quite cute, isn't it? I'm quite into that. And I'm toying with going around the edges of this with the peacock feathers, potentially, to give that, so that stands out a little bit more. And the peacock feathers go so well with what we've got going on, you know. Or do I go with a more of a contrasting colour to, you know, to help it stand out a little bit? So I wonder what would be a good colour background, because I don't want it to be too tone on tone, otherwise it's going to look a little bit dull. So we could go with maybe kind of a salty ocean look, faded jeans, or we could go mental and go with maybe a pink. What do you think? What do we think with a pink? The pink might be quite nice, you know. Or even, and again, this may be considered a bit controversial, but maybe a bit of a purple shade. Interesting. What do we think? Rescue. I thought so. I thought I'd not heard of a resume. So, give me your shout outs. What do you think? I mean, I could do a colour and then flip it over if we don't like it. So it's absolutely fine. Don't be afraid to test things out. So we could do a picked raspberry, we could do a kitsch flamingo, maybe 2 bubblegummy, or we could do a saltwater taffy, or a worn lipstick. Worn lipstick's a bit more subtle. I feel like I want to go with the picked raspberry. Shall we try it? I am willing to try these things for you. I'm willing to make the mistakes. If we don't like it, we'll just flip it over and we'll try something else. It is very, very simple. This is all we have to do. So, and all I have to do is go around the edges. So I'm just going to use my my brush to go around the edges. If you can hear a knocking, it's because when I'm doing this action, my foot is banging against the wall. For some reason, I've got my leg crossed, and yeah, it's making me knock my foot against the wall. So just go around the edges. I don't need to do. This is a lovely colour. I'm excited about this. And this bright kind of colour scheme and is very much inspired by my design team, who are just the kings and queens of doing beautiful, bright, cheerful, gorgeous cards. And I'm always so inspired by them. And I think, right, I need to do something like that in my next live because I love the way it looks. So let's pop that on there. That little pop of pink in the background. I'm into it. I like it. I think it's just a little bit of something, isn't it? And I mean, there's also the temptation of making that pink. Right, I'm going to do it on the wrong side as a test. And if we don't like it, then we won't do the rest of it like it. But this is one of the things that I love about inks, and just having these as an option in your stash means that you can make everything colour coordinate. Now, if you were making this card for somebody who's quite masculine and isn't going to like the girly pink colours, then obviously you don't have to do this. I'll pick it up with my nails. So you see, you slot that behind there. Then we have a bit of pink. I'll bring that up to the camera a little bit so you can see. So we've got pink in the background. That's a winner. That's a winner. So I'm going to do it on the correct side, because I actually did that on the back of it in case I decided not to use it. Then I would still have the right side, but I like it. And it's not quite as dark as it is around the edges, because we're doing it onto the die cut piece. If I was to do this, ink blend this, so I'm having to use a lighter hand. If I was to ink blend this just onto cardstock, solid piece of cardstock, and then die cut, I might have done it a bit darker. But again, in the interest of keeping things a little bit more pared back and a bit more subtle, this actually works for what we're doing, doesn't it? So this is completely on the fly colour scheme that I've not even contemplated before, but I do really like it. So these are the 3 colours that we've used, and they're going to look really, really lovely together, aren't they? So, oh Laura, I bet you're so excited about your new edition then, and it's good to be getting I do feel like it is good to get, if you can, on a Friday evening, get a lot of your chores done before the weekend. If you're somebody who's lucky enough to have all weekend off, and be a Monday to Friday kind of job, then yeah, having that full weekend where you don't have to do anything now is just so good, so satisfying, isn't it? So I'm going to pop those to one side, and then we're just going to clean up my stencil mat and give that a good wipe. There we go. Pop that away. So I think sentiment wise, the old sentiment. Where did that come from now? I'm sure it goes in there somewhere. There it goes. Right. So, bit of cardstock here. This is the cardstock that I've used for my background. This is also good enough for me to do my stamping on. So I am going to, shall we freehand it, because we're doing this guy and this guy. We're doing the fishing rod, aren't we? We've got a few little hearts here which are cute also, and then the sentiment, like I said, yeah, I might do the sealed with a kiss separately and then fill that with like the moi and the XO and the little heart. Couldn't think of the words just then. So let's do a little bit of freehand stamp in and see what happens. What happens? And what's everybody else up to then today? Anybody else got anything exciting happening this weekend? Any exciting plans? And again, let me know what your thoughts are for classes. Obviously, you know, we've got, oh dear, I've stuck that to myself now. Hopefully it's not sticky. Or fluffy, should I say. And I've got the kind of, the big ones that people tend to be interested in are colouring, ink blending. I think, like I say, mainly the ink blending is going to be a big one, I think, isn't it? The colouring. So colouring of your critters, colouring of backgrounds, maybe that type of thing, which I absolutely love doing, as you know. So I'm just pressing this down firmly. I've wobbled my block there a little bit, so hopefully that didn't cause a mess. They have stamped absolutely beautifully, so I'm very happy with that. That's really cute. And I am considering doing a few splatters on the back of here. I was just having a little think to myself there about what might be missing on the back of on my card here, just to give it a bit of extra something. And I thought, what about some splatters? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove some bits that I don't want ink splatters on. So I don't want splatters on that, but I do want splatters on these here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my my palette of Fine Tech watercolours that I absolutely love, and I'm going to make sure that I haven't got anything around me that I'm going to be too worried about splattering. I'm going to get what shall I use? Shall I use this brush? Use my fan brush, and I've got my pot of water here, and my fan brush just here, and then I think I'm going to use this silvery colour rather than a gold. I've got this that's got a bit of a pink in it. Shall we try that? I don't think I've used that one. At least I've not used it very often. So you're going to add a fair bit of water in there because you need to get that colour moving. So it's going to take a little bit of working just so that water works into the pigment and just get it moving around a little bit. I can see it's starting to soften. So you'll kind of feel it moving and it getting softer and a bit creamier. And then I might just grab my acrylic block, sorry. Oh, well, I would if I could get it out with my nails. Right, a bit more water. So we need it to be, we need enough of it to kind of be able to create those splatters that we're looking for. And then let's just give it a test. Yeah, there's not quite enough, it's not quite damp enough yet, or not quite enough water on there yet. So, but I don't want to dilute that colour, and I can see that pinkiness coming through now, which is absolutely gorgeous. Just working that through. Can you? I don't know if you can see that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Right. Let's try. Oh, there we go. Now it's coming through. And the reason that I'm doing this now, and we'll just do a few flicks as well, is because obviously I want to give it a little bit of time to dry. So we'll just do a few flicks on here. sometimes they just don't go quite where you want them to, which is really annoying. That's it, just step back a little bit, change my angle of attack there. There we go. I think we've got a good amount of splatters on there now, and this will dry back to a lovely pale pink and silver shimmer, which is going to be gorgeous, just gorgeous. So, and then this, we'll just close that up, and that will dry, and it'll be absolutely fine. So I have splattered literally everything in sight. So I'm just going to give that a little wipe. Sorry if that's just knocked you all a little. While I just wipe things. Obviously, you protect your surfaces at home. Do what you need to do. I am kind of, I mean, I use and abuse this craft mat. It's served me so well. I don't know how long I've had it now. It's pretty filthy. So I'm just going to show you that a little bit closer to the camera there. And I hope you can see some of that shimmer there. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. Hello to Aisha, hello. How's Ant? Do you know what? Ant is really good. I'm saying he's really good. He's no longer ill, because he was ill as well for a long time. Sorry about that. I just had to have a little drink. So yeah, he was very poorly, but he's feeling much better. But he's just been on nights. So he finished his last night shift last night. So he's a bit tired today. And he's had to go out and do some shopping, bless him, today. But he had an awful couple of nights because he went to work the night before last, and on the way to work, a light came up on the car to say that there was a problem with the car's radiator. Like it was overheating or something. I'm just going to zoom you in so you can see me colouring in these little cutie pies. So yeah, so he called out the so he managed to get to work, but then he had to call out the RAC, who we've got breakdown cover with, and ask them to come out and see to it. Well, what a palaver that was for him. So they said it was going to be 3 hours. This was at this would have been at 8 o'clock at night. No, yeah, 8 o'clock at night. It was going to be 3 hours. Then it was they weren't going to turn up until midnight. Then they weren't going to turn up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. In the meantime, Ant's at work, and he's got to obviously he can't just wait about for RAC to come. So they went out and did a job, and the job that they went on. Hiya Nicola, how are you? Don't worry. You can always catch up on what we've done so far. The RAC were at this incident that they went to, and he said, oh yeah, I can see the job's there, but because he's not at the roadside, he wasn't a priority, so they would get to him hopefully in the next couple of hours. Anyway, he still hadn't heard from them by 7:30 the following morning. He was due to finish work at 8 a.m. and just so frustrating. There was a couple of other contacts where they said they'd been, but they hadn't been. Just really frustrating. Not being able to sleep all night because he didn't know whether they were going to come or not. And then they came out finally at 8. It was 20 to 8 when they got to him, and they said, well, we're going to have to take you to a garage because we can't fix it. And he said, well, I can't just leave, I'm at work. So they said, well, we have, when we're ready to go, the car has to go, basically. And he said, look, you've kept me waiting for more than 12 hours come and deal with this. So the least you can do is, you know, wait 10 minutes while I finish my shift. So they did, and they took him to. They wanted to take him to a garage that was near where he worked, but he said, "Well, that's no good to me because how do I get home?" So they finally agreed to bring him to a garage near us, and we've obviously had to leave it there. And they said, "Oh well, because you've just dropped it off, it might be next week before we can get it fixed." Ant's then trying to catch up on some sleep, bless him, and thinking then, oh God, what we're going to do? We're not going to have a car for the next week, and I've got to go to Birmingham on Sunday for the Hobby Maker show. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to hire a car, and you know, what am I going to do? And then he's just having a sleep, bless him, and they phone to say the car's ready for you to pick up. It's fine. So then he had to go walk round to the garage, pick up the car, come back, get himself ready, and was back off to work for his night shift, feeling absolutely drained and shattered, bless him. So he's not had the best couple of nights, bless him, and Ant definitely doesn't do well on no sleep. It is not his thing. So, but we, you know, I have to say that the service from the RAC, I was so disappointed with, because you expect them to be, I don't know, they're such a big firm in this country. You expect that they're going to look after you, but they weren't the best. They weren't the best at all. So there you go. So that was our little adventure with the car. And it turned out it wasn't overheating. There was nothing actually wrong with the the radiator. It was just a sensor switch that had stopped working. And so it was reporting an incorrect reading about the temperature, but it was turning on all the fans to cool down the engine unnecessarily. I don't know. It's all very strange. But yeah, another expense that you don't expect to have to pay as well, isn't it? So fun and games. Annie says, poor Ant, what a pain. I know, it really was. And he was feeling all, you know, like really stressed about it all day, thinking about me having to, you know, get to the show on Sunday and not being able to get it fixed. But it's all fine now. It certainly didn't need to be as stressful as the RAC made it. I mean, waiting 12 hours for someone to come, and like I said to Ant, is that, you know, the thing is that we pay. We don't get this for free. We do pay for this service, so you do expect a little bit more, don't you? You do expect more. Laura Ann says, we've not used the RAC or AA for years. 3 cars across the family, and we are cheaper than the big ones, and never had such bad service. I had a breakdown a few months back and was on the back of the tow truck in under an hour. So 3 cars from across the family, and we are cheaper than the big ones. I don't know what that means. Who are you with then? Sorry, Laura Ann. But you don't recommend RAC or the AA? Shani says, hello Joe, just caught the end whilst finishing up work in my car. You're finishing work in your car. Bless you. That's dedication, that. So I'm just giving these little seals a bit of light colourage. The other reason I wanted to, I didn't mention this actually, the other reason I wanted to use these cute little seals is because, I don't know if any of you have seen on the news, but there's a little, all these cute little creatures keep turning up where they're not supposed to do. So this seal has turned up somewhere down south. not in our region, but I did see it on the news. It said this seal had turned up on this well-known like fishing spot, and because he's a protected little creature, nobody can interfere with him, and they're not allowed to fish in the area while he's there. Well, this little guy is absolutely buzzing, because then that means all of the fish are for him, and he's filling his boots, because nobody else is allowed to fish. So he's basically picking up all of the fish in this river or stream, and has put on tons of weight, and is now a big fat seal, and he's showing absolutely no desire to leave. Well, of course he's not, because he's got food on tap and nobody interfering with him. I think he's a genius. And he was so cute, and of course all the locals are loving it as well, because they've got this little superstar there, so they're all out taking pictures of him, and he's just sat posing at the side of the river with a big fat belly full of fish. I thought it was really, really cute. So that was the other reason why I thought we need to honour the seals. So that's two little critters that have turned up somewhere where they shouldn't have done in recent weeks, that we've recently made stamp sets for, which is really bizarre. So yeah, I love that. So I'm gonna go with, let's have a look at what colour. 33 and 30. Should we go 33 and 35? Just trying to think of a colour to do for the fishing rod here. That was a cute little squeak from my little girl. Wonder what she's dreaming about. And then the little heart on the end, I'm going to do in a shade that will match the other colours that we've used. So the brightest kind of pink that we've got are the RV13 and 14, I find. Let's have a look. Is that, oh no, it's a bit too salmony actually. That's not the colour that I wanted. I want something a bit more. Let's try this. Yeah, that's a bit more like it, isn't it? So that's the RV06, but I think I need we've got an RV04, and then there should be an RV02, which I think is probably going to be a bit more the shade that we want. Yeah. So RV02. These are very, very kind of almost fluorescent-y pinks, and I feel like they don't really blend all that well together. So, top tip, I've not done this for a while, but the tip to tip technique, or the tip to excess ink technique, does work really well for this. So all I've done is just take some bits of ink that are on the inside of my cap there and put them onto the tip of my lighter shade, and then use that to fill in the gaps, to create myself like a mid-tone. So that always works quite well if you're struggling for a mid-tone colour. So pop all of those back. I think that is almost done. We just need to cut these out now. Have they named the seal? Oh, do you know what? I think they did. I can't remember what his name was now. Oh, what was his name? I'm gonna have to look it up, because I know the walrus was Thor, And I remembered that because Thor is Ant's favourite, like, Marvel. Is it Marvel? Yeah, Marvel character. And we're both really. I mean, well, who doesn't love a bit of Chris Hemsworth dressed in a, you know, an outfit of a god? No, I do. So yeah. So that's why I remembered that. But yeah, I feel like he did have a name. It wasn't as good as Thor. So I might have to look that one up. But yeah, he's a little star. So I'm just lining up these stencils. Sorry if my head pops into view while I do. Just because you want to line it up really carefully there. Because it's quite you know, small stamp, that one. And I'm just making sure really that I can see a bit of that black line all the way around. If I can't see the black line, then I've not lined it up correctly, and you're going to end up with either too much white space or not enough on one side. So let's pop these through, and then I'll zoom back out for you. International Rescue. I'll have to look out for them. I mean, this was, you know, part of your insurance, so you can't really pick and choose. But yeah, it wasn't a great experience, I have to say. I would like to think it would be much better if it was me, say, stood at the side of the road. So let's zoom back out a bit. Zoom, 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 zoom. Zoom. It's not really zooming, is it? But there we go. There we are. So that's one little seal. Let's see if we managed to do this. Oh yes, beautifully die cut. And then seal number 2. Okay, so that's my seals die cut. This is not quite dry, this one, but I'm just gonna look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I love that. So we've got a few bits that are a little bit wet still. I think these smaller ones, see, look at that flashing in the light. So pretty. Just a little bit of a subtle shimmer in the background, making all the difference there. So we can layer these up, and hopefully that'll get itself dry. In the meantime, I also need to think about my what I want to do for my sentiment. So like I said, I did quite like the sealed with a kiss sentiment, and then I also thought about doing on one of these, we do like an XO. We've got the mwah there, and then we've got a little heart as well. So I think they will look really cute, just randomly stamped in the centre there. So we'll do that, but then for the larger sentiment, we could either do that. I'm thinking about doing it maybe on a bit of grey cardstock, which is, you know, controversial, I know. But let me grab some. In fact, have I got a smaller piece rather than grabbing a great giant piece. I'm thinking that I would really like it to be that warm grey, you know. What colour's this? That's almost a warm grey colour. Where have I got that from? Oh, that would be the perfect shade of grey. It's a perfect shade of grey. I don't know what cardstock that is. I don't think it's one that we sell, so I don't know where I've got that one from. It must be. It must be. Come on, let's have a look. All of this cardstock here, look. All of these lovely neutral tones. It must be one of these. Yes, it's this one, isn't it? Whoops. That one's perfect. Absolutely blooming perfect. I just hope that if I do some embossing on here, that it'll show up. Okay. And the reason I'm not using these pieces here is because I don't think they're long enough. Oh, she says. So look, that actually, that is long enough, so I don't have to cut up a new sheet. We'll test it. It's all about testing today, isn't it? We're testing things out, testing the waters, quite literally. Okay. So, what I want to do with this is I'm going to lay that diagonally. I want to heat emboss this in white. I hope it'll show up. I think it will. So I've just used a bit of anti-static on there, just to help with the inky process. And then I do need a different. So I normally use my Wow embossing ink pad, but this is a little bit well loved, as you can see, but I also managed to get glitter all over it. I'm going to try it. Again, we're trying things. Try and use, it's still very juicy, it's still, you know, perfectly fine, but there is a danger of me getting glitter and everything, which is not the look that I was going for. So, excuse my head and potentially white roots. I am due to have my hair done next week after TV, which is really annoying. But it's just the way it fell. So now I need a bit of paper. Let me get a bit of scratch paper here and just pop this onto there, just so that I can capture my embossing powder. Chuck that over the top. I'm going to grab my tweezers here. These are my reverse action tweezers, just so that I can hold on to it while I tap off any excess. And I'm just making sure that that S looks pretty clean. Might need to do a little bit of cleaning up around this one. I'm even taking my glasses off because I can't see close to these days with my glasses on. I really must go and get my eyes checked. So just in the centre of that S, I'm going to use my poker tool and just remove a little bit of that embossing powder where it's just gone a little bit thick. So just using steady as hand as possible. I'm not going to push it because it's going to look awesome. Put that away. Pop that just to one side. Once you've put your powder on there, it's fine to just leave it. The ink is going to stay wet long enough, so you don't have to rush. You just have to be a little bit quick about getting your powder on there so that your ink doesn't dry out. So once your powder's on there, you're good to just give it a moment. Okay, I'm going to wipe this surface up as well because I can see that I've got a bit of that anti-static powder on here still. So I'll just give that a little bit of a wipe. There we go. Surrounded by stuff. Right, this might wake the cat up. I'm going to get his heat tool out. So this is my heat tool. And I'm just going to warm it up a little bit first. So I like to just give it a little bit of heat to begin with, and then underneath my sentiment. There we go. That looks so cool. I love that. So, I did notice in the comments somebody did mention something about what they wanted a class, and I think it was, Laura Ann said a class is also just time to stop and focus and make yourself craft, which is a really good point because we tend not to do that. So when you're watching a live like this, you might be doing your ironing, for example, or doing something else while you're doing it. You're not actually making the time to craft. Whereas if you do a class, you are making yourself do some crafting along with, whatever class it is that you've signed up for. So, yeah, that is a really good point. It doesn't necessarily have to be one particular technique. It just needs to be I guess something that you can follow along with and craft along with. So yeah, we're definitely going to do that. So I don't think my banner might be long enough but not wide enough to get that full sentiment in. No, that's a shame. That is a shame. But what we do have is, I can put them back in. We do have coordinating dies that cut out the sentiments. So I could do that. I could use the coordinating die, which I do think will look rather cute. Or I could just cut it into a banner myself. What do we think? It looks really cute on a wavy thing, doesn't it? It looks kind of cute like that. But if we were to cut it out as a shape, I don't know if it would have the same impact. Oh, sorry, did I wake you up there, little cat? Okay, I'm going to pop that to one side and mull over that one. Nicola says, yes, she's watching and packing as she's going to Eastbourne for the weekend. Oh, very nice. That does sound nice. I hope the weather is okay for you. So I'm just going to pop that there so that I can see the space that I've got to work with here, because now we're going to do just stamp some of these little cute extra sentiments that we've got. in here. So I've got XOXO. We'll start with that one. And I'm just going to use my little acrylic block here. And get that one down. XOXO. Do them on a little bit of an angle, just for a bit of interest. Mwah! Cute. And then we could do another XOXO, I think. Little heart. I've already popped that on a. I'll just do a couple. Little hearts. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Very cute. I don't know. I mean, I kind of would have liked them to have been pink, but obviously we've got this bit of pink going around the outside. I think that's going to look really cute. So let's stick these bits together. It's all going to start coming together now. So bit of glue onto here, and then pop that onto the pink background there. And scrub these other two here. I mean, this is such a fun little die set, the way that it all builds up, the different combinations that you can have, different colours that you can work with. So many different ideas with this. And I'm so glad that I went for the bright colour scheme. The pink in the background is just really setting it off. I think there is a temptation to go a bit all blues when you're doing something sea themed, but you can mix things up and use different colours. It's really cool to do that. And then we'll pop one onto here. These all lined up. I think the other thing is that, you know, this is actually, you know, come together really, really easily. To say that I didn't have any clue what I was going to do when I started. I just wanted to use my cute little seal. Nicola says that the weather looks awful. Never mind, we'll stay in the warm looking out to sea. My happy place. I do love being by the sea, Nicola. I agree. But I do like it to be be a hot sea. I don't think I've ever been to Eastbourne. Now I think about it, I don't think I've ever been. And I do like the British seaside, I have to say, but it's always so breezy, isn't it? We always used to go to, because of where I live, we would go to Skegness or Blackpool would be the places we would go to the seaside, and it was always very, very breezy and very cold. So right now we're in a position to start putting things together. My background I think is pretty much dry. I'm got a little bit there that's a little wet still, but I'm not going to worry about that because we're going to cover that up anyway. So I'm going to take a little bit of tissue and just block that, I think. And then I want to pop this up for a bit of dimension. So I'm going to grab some of my extra wide foam tape and turn that one over. And are you enjoying this little craft along, Maisie? She's been sat here next to me, quiet as a little mouse. And then pop that on there. I think if I was maybe mailing this out, I would just fill in those gaps, but just so that it doesn't collapse. But we're not adding weight to those edges, so I think we should be fine. Around. Make sure my hearts are the right way up. Nearly had upside down hearts there. And then again, excuse my noggin getting in the way, but I'm just going to try my best to lay that on nice and straight. Nicholas says we have a flat there. I love it. Oh, a place by the sea. How awesome is that? I am loving that. So we've now got our 3 little portholes here, and because these have already got a bit of dimension to them because we've laid them up, I think I will just lay those flat, and then I'm going to pop my little seals on with dimension. But then my sentiment here, which I think I'm going to pop at this side, I think I am just going to trim, because I think it's going to look better with a straight line than with the die that comes with it, which will cut round it. So I'm just going to line this up onto my trimmer. You can only see the edge of it there because I can't quite fit it all on screen, unfortunately, but you get the idea. Just pop that there. That's quite wide. I want to trim it off a little bit more than that. This is the problem, and this is why we have coordinated dies. I'm not going to lie, because I find this process of trimming down a sentiment really quite annoying, because you can never quite get it fully straight and exactly how you want it. But I'm persevering with it on this occasion because it's a style choice. So there we go. You see, it's wonky as anything. Wonky as anything. So I may revert to using the actual I don't know whether, and then this is where we start trimming with scissors, and that's never a good idea either, because then you start over trimming, you can't get a clean cut. I hate it. And this is why we have banner dies and all of the different things, so that we don't have to do this. So I'm very much a die girl. Give me all of the dies. I don't want to hand trim. But unfortunately, I don't have one the right size for this. So that's on the list of things for me to design. Sealed with a kiss. There we go. I'm still not sure if I like it. Maybe I do need the coordinating die. Maybe I should have stuck with the coordinating die. Oh dear. coordinating die will still work. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I don't like it. I'm not happy. I'm really not happy with what I've done. So let's take a risk, because this is a risk now. I may have cut it down too much, but oops, I don't like it. Maybe it's because I've got used to the look of a nice clean cut with the coordinating dies, and I'm spoilt now. And Lisa says the same. I can't trim small strips like that. I often use a simple slimline nesting dies. The smallest one fits a few of your sentiments. What a great idea, Annalisa. Should have done that. That is such a good idea. That is such a good idea. So Annalisa there is talking about our slimline nesting dies. How, I mean, all right, that looks amazing, doesn't it? I should have just done that. It looks so much better. But if you do, you know, do want to use more of a traditional shape, then let me find those dies. I have just seen them. I'm sure I have. While I was looking, here we go. These are our slimline nesting dies, and this one in the middle is a great one for cutting out sentiments. And if you need one a bit bigger, even the one, you know, the next one up is going to be a great size. Really, really good. Really good suggestion, that, Annalisa. Thank you very much. Right, we're cooking on gas now. So, as they say here in the UK. So I'm just going to line this up and try and get this central. 5, 3, 4, what am I doing? 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, this is the middle. This is the middle of the middle. So a bit of glue on there, and then in the middle of the middle, hopefully, just line that up. So I'm starting with the middle one first, because I'm hoping that's going to mean then that I'm going to get some good spacing on the other two. So if I started on one side and I went too far that way or too far that way, then I'm not going to get them spaced equally. Whereas if you're using the centre, if you're using this, obviously you know you're going to get them lined up. And what you could do actually, which would have been the most clever thing to do, would be to put this over the top and use this to centre. So let's do that, because I don't think that will have stuck down properly just yet. So I'm just going to lift this up. So yeah, use this as your guide. So pop that there, and then pop that in the gap. What a sausage. I should have done that in the first place, but look, nothing's lost. It's perfectly centered now. And then we can do the same with the other two, so we know that again they're all going to be spaced perfectly. There we go. And then this one. And you can see here that actually if you'd done a tone on tone, it would still have looked very cute. So we're just going to, because we've got a bit of dimension, it's going to be a bit tough to get this off. So I'm just going to make sure I can get this off. There we go. And give those a good press into place. That is already looking super, super cute. But we've got our little seal here. So we've got his little, I could pick things up, it would be great. So we've got our little seal. It's going to be holding onto this. So I'm going to stick that on first. So I know that I've got that in place. So a bit of glue on his flipper, and then he's going to sit there. So adorable. And then this guy's going to sit here. And again, I'm going to use some foam tape to pop these up. Hello there, little girl. What you doing? She's woken up now, so she's probably going to come and dance all over our project. So we better get this done. Okay. We've run over time a little bit, but we're almost there. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined us tonight. It's really good to see you all. And I know, it, like I say, this is a different time. So let me know what you think to this time. Does it work well for you? Or are you, do you not mind? Because you can always catch up on the replay. You don't have to watch us live. But it's nice, obviously nice to have you with me, because otherwise I can feel like I'm talking to myself. If nobody turns up. So just add a little bit of extra. So I'm just cutting down this bit of foam tape because it's means then that everything is the same height. If I do that, rather than going to my stash of maybe smaller, pieces of foam. If I use these, just cut it up to the size that I want, then I know everything's going to be the same height as each other. So put that one in there. It's just sometimes a bit tricky when you've got a little sticky piece to make it go where you want it to, but I think we've sorted it. And I have got longer nails today, and I don't know if I've shown you my nails, but they've got like little hearts in them. So feeling very Valentine's-y already over here. And I'll just remove this tape. Oh, again, nails. Got stuck to my nail and it doesn't want to come off. Get off me. Might be better just using a bit of assistance with my poke tool there, and then managed to get bits of cat hair gets stuck to everything. Oh, she's leaving us. She's not come to jump on us, which is probably for the best. So, and then the sealed with a kiss. Which side do I want it? I tend to lean towards this side. I don't know why. Or we could go up at the top there. I feel like, I don't know, the bottom is, yeah, I feel like this is where I always lean towards that end. And I think it's because, is it because you read in that direction? Like you will follow the story in that direction? I don't know. There must be some method in my madness somewhere. Okay, a little bit more on the end of here. Laura Ann says this works well for me. In what works well? Tell me. Because the comments are sometimes a little bit behind what I'm wittering on about. So sometimes I'm not sure what you're referring, which bit you're referring to. So let me hang that back up there. So I think that is pretty much almost, we've nailed it. I'm feeling like. Let's have a little look at what we've got. Do we want to add any more embellishments? Do have the most gorgeous enamel dots, and I love just adding enamel dots to everything. Where are they? These are the ones. Not got many of those left, have I? Let's look at this one. Oh, this one's got a few left in it. So we could add a few of these little pink enamel dots on here because they are rather adorable, and they actually match so perfectly. So, oh, have I got a couple of little ones in here? We'll use those. There. Just randomly pop some of these hither and thither. I don't like them to look too uniform, so we do like to make them look a little bit like they've been placed randomly. Yeah, that's a good spot. And I like to tuck them into things, behind things, just like, I don't know, it just adds a little bit of something when they're just a little bit tucked behind. I think that looks really cute, really cute. Do I need another little one somewhere to make that look a little bit less positioned? That's cute. Maybe that one just behind there as well. Oh, lovely, lovely. Maybe a little bit top heavy there. So we'll just pop one down there. Love that. Absolutely love that. I think it's bright, it's cheerful. It was all the things that I wanted it to be. I didn't want it to be a traditional kind of Valentine's card. I didn't want it to be too much of the blues, but the pink ones are the perfect colour, aren't they? And I just think that looks really, really cute. And the enamel dots again could almost be bubbles in this instance, couldn't they? So just the finishing touches. I do need to order myself another jelly roll pen because I think we're out of stock in the shop, and this one is definitely on its last legs. So, but hopefully we can just get a little bit more out of it to highlight our little seals here. Struggling a little bit. My Uniball pen has also run out. It's like, oh, all of the things have run out at the same time. It could also be the cold. I know the cold can sometimes affect how these things work, but so yeah, sometimes you just have to be a little bit patient, which I am not at the best of times. And then my black lace pen, which is, just need to just make sure that sometimes the end can dry up a little bit, so you have to just knock off that little bit of crustiness. And then for these hearts, I might just go over with the glaze as well, so that just makes them pop a little bit. the little finishing touches that just, I don't know, they just make me so happy. So there we go. That's our Sealed with a Kiss Slimline porthole little creation. I love that. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for helping me with that and crafting along with me and telling me what you're up to. I hope, Nicola, you have a wonderful weekend in Eastbourne, and good luck with the new doggy. I think that is going to be so exciting, Laura, and so good luck with that. And you'll have to let us know next week how you've got on your first week with your new arrival. To little Rex. We might have to make Rex a card next week. Any suggestions that you've got for classes, for cards that you want me to make during the lives, then obviously just message me via Facebook or Instagram or through the Time Tea Designs page. I'm always, interested in your thoughts and your ideas. Comment on the videos. Let me know what you think. I love hearing from you all, and I love spending time crafting with you. So here's to more of these little crafty times in the coming year. Thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you all next week. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to tune in to Hobby Maker on Sunday as well. I'll see you then. Bye, guys. Bye.